there's like bars everywhere. I've played in many of them. There's this place called Bourbon Street Music Club, and it's more like a soul black blues joint. But there are others that where it's only rock and roll, and the independent author and original songs is scene as well is really interesting. But it's, well, I guess the Brazilian rock is more like a punk rock or yeah, more punk rock songs. I can eventually I'm gonna send you some links of different bands so you can hear the sound.
Awesome.
Yeah, I think it's really it's a different school, but it's really interesting.
We have a bourbon here. It's called Bourbon Street North, I think, here, and it's got like George Thorogood's always there. Like every year he comes.
Oh, I like that guy.
Yeah, and we have like Montreal Jazz Festival, so we get stuff like Prince will come here. Just tons of great artists.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I have this. I lived in Connecticut from '94 to '96.
Okay.
And I went to high school there, and eventually I graduated. I was planning to stay and play basketball in college, but I had a knee problem. I tore the ligament, so I had to come back to Brazil. Eventually, I didn't have any more scholarship proposals, so I came back to Brazil. But at that time, I had these three best friends. One was this guy called Julian Bro. He's from Canada, from New Brunswick, as I wrote to you, and he plays bass in it's like a folk trio. He plays bass. There's this guy who plays the guitar. And I don't remember the name. He's French Canadian. I don't know. Do you speak French though?
Yeah.
Oh, you do.
Yeah.
So yeah, and at that time it was really it was weird because Julian could not speak English as well as French, and so he was really French Canadian. It was awesome. And he taught me some words eventually, but it didn't work. And but it was awesome because at the time we played together in the jazz band at school. But he was this mean guitar player. He was awesome, and he looked like James Hetfield.
Oh, nice.
The hair. It was like, damn, man, he could play the guitar like Joe Satriani. But eventually he played the bass. So. And it was him. There was this girl from Puerto Rico, and this other girl from Lesotho, which is in the middle of South Africa.
Okay. Wow.
And these were my best friends at school, and we eventually heard music from their places. So it was like, man, this is awesome. This is awesome. And but I have to go back and visit Julian as well. It's been like 20 years since we were together. It was like 96, yeah, that's it, 20 years.
Wow.
20, that's right. Wow.
That must be amazing too, say, like, if you all get in the same room and play. Having all those different backgrounds together, that must be amazing. That must sound amazing.
It is, and the funny thing is, like, now that we're talking, we see that we have lots of music in common, and this is the weirdest thing, because back in '94, '96, '95, I was discovering rock for real because I was like 16, and in Brazil the rock scene in the '80s was really strong. We've had artists like Freddie Mercury, really innovative. And gay and AIDS scene thing, and they were really good.
Yeah.
In their own rock.
Oh yeah, Queen is amazing, amazing. Yeah. Everything they touch turned to gold. I remember because my sister Robin, she used to listen to Queen nonstop, Queen and Def Leppard nonstop. So I got to practice on things like the Flash Gordon soundtrack,
That's right.
You know, stuff like that. So, yeah.
I really like the Highlander. The Kind of Magic was made by Highlander, right?
Yeah. Amazing intro to that movie. The music and then
my favorite song for that is One Vision. I guess One Vision is the greatest for me. Is the greatest B-side song from Queen.
Oh, yeah, Queen was awesome.
That's right.
Yeah. And then my sister listens to like a lot of soft cell, Michael Jackson. My other sister, she listens to like a lot of like pop, like the 80s pop. So I got to bring that in on that side. My brother was like, you know, Led Zeppelin and like the Deep Purple. A lot of Deep Purple.
You have the best of all worlds. Then you have the nicest pop and the nicest rock.
Yeah, and Rainbow. A lot of Rainbow and UFO and like.
That's right. That's
all
right.
These awesome bands.
I play for I play like for 8 or 9 different bands.
Wow.
Right now. Yeah, and some of them are more rocks. Some of them are more pop. But then I get to sing. I guess the greatest thing of it is that I can sing Bruno Mars, Michael Jackson, Stevie Wonder in a band. Then I can play. We have this a funk band that's working out right now, and we can play James Brown, Tower of Power, KC and the Sunshine Band, Kool and the Gang, and that kind of stuff. And there's this other band we play the movie themes, and then there's this other band that we can play Foo Fighters, AC/DC, and stuff.
Oh,
and the good thing of it is like I have 800 songs in my iPad application on song. So it's like I sing. That's awesome. You can sing different things. Yeah, but you know I studied lyrical singing, right?
Okay.
I'm a tenor, and that's where I started at school as a tenor. But when you're 16, you'll never know what kind of voice you're going to be, right?
Yeah.
But eventually, when I came back to Brazil, I started to study singing for good, and then Ave Marias and Pavarotti and that kind of stuff.
Amazing.
Yeah, that was fun. It's like going to a Shaolin temple in China and study with the masters, or at least the techniques for singing, right? And eventually, when you get to sing pop and rock, it's easier.
Yeah,
it's much easier. So it's awesome because whenever I have a chance, I love to sing Bruce Dickinson's. Not Iron Maiden, but the Bruce Dickinson solo.
Okay, yeah.
Which I love. There's the Chemical Wedding album. I think it's awesome. The Tower and that kind of stuff. It's really difficult to hear that kind of sound.
I wish I had gone to like music school. Like I ended up going to art school, but I really wish I would have went to have like an actual trainer, like a music professor, and get taught. I kind of like learned everything on the fly. Like I would watch other people, and then slowly over time I kind of picked it up. Cause I don't know. Like I have this weird problem where if I try to sing, it sounds horrible. So I kind of like sing through guitar pedals to try to clean up my voice. But if I'm playing guitar, I can sing. But if I'm not playing guitar, like if I'm playing guitar at the same time as I'm singing, then I can sing.
Yeah.
But I think maybe that's reverberation or something. But just trying to sing, I can't for some reason.
From my experience, I think it's something. It's all about practicing. I used to have this thing that I could only sing when I was playing the guitar, the acoustic guitar or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But then eventually I started to sing a cappella, so I could get the sound going and understanding the toning and and the way of speaking the words,
Yeah.
the way, it takes a little while to do that. But one thing that I find interesting about your story is that even though you didn't go to a formal school or a formal music apprenticeship, you actually have this huge appreciation thing that not many musicians have.
Yeah, I love it.
Really interesting.
I love it.
This is something awesome. Yeah, and it doesn't. You don't have to be a great musician to be a great appreciator.
Yeah.
This is sometimes much more important than knowing, oh, this note is a B flat or something.
Yeah.
Who cares about that? The way you describe music is much more important for people to get to know how it works, how it sounds. And this is something I'm going to do in the studio. I'm going to put on workshops for appreciation. So
cool.
when people come up, okay, so we're going to listen to this song right now, and get the kids around. How many instruments can you hear on this tune? And not many people speak English, but they do understand, but not too much. And eventually, do you know what they're singing about?
That's it.
And then and then you get the video. What is how does the video work when the song? There are many songs that the video is a contradiction to the story of the lyrics. And this is what is fun about it, because not many people get to understand what's going on.
Yeah. Like if you look back at the 80s, when MTV was just coming out, I find that music videos made sense because they were built in a way that was more conceptual. Whereas today, you got stuff like, I don't know, Alan Thicke. Yeah. Alan Thicke's kid out there doing songs where the music video is just like a money-making ploy.
Yeah.
And I find that the kids today, there's like, the role models that the kids have, I don't find they're really role models. Because, like, I listen to some of those songs, and personally, when I have children, I don't want them listening to any of that, because, it doesn't give the child time to be a child. It kind of just throws them into, like, sex, drugs, and rock and roll. At least back in the day when they had sex, drugs, and rock and roll, at least it wasn't as promiscuous. It was hidden, so the kids didn't really get it until a couple of years later.
Yeah. I'm sorry. We had this blank here. What were you saying?
Oh, I was just saying that I just find that the music today, for like today's generation, is a lot less wholesome than how it used to be. And like music videos used to actually mean something, where there was love and stuff put behind it, and they built like proper stories. Whereas nowadays I find that a lot of the videos that are out there are just to sell sex or to sell whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.